Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Okay. Let me get this straight. Let me break it down right now. Right now, in premium format, with the release of Order Mega Colony, we are legitimately one of the most threatening decks in the format, right? Like, everybody kind of sort of wants Empress Gridor gone right now. Because all of a sudden she's like, I don't think she's really public enemy number one. I still believe that that's Nightmare Dolls. But she's near there. She's like carrying the number 2 headband right now. And now we get this stride that I've been for fucking a year and a half now saying that I didn't have faith in Premium Collection 2022 because I believe that the freaking thing was going to be busted and it was going to get up to a point where they weren't really going to give Mega Colony shit because of that atrocity that was whatever stride we got in 2020. That still to this day, nobody knows how to really utilize because it's that much of a shit card. And then we get a good G Guardian as well. I'm sorry, but what timeline are we in? I really want to know that. What timeline are we in that Mega Colony is not only a big threat in a format that is basically meta at this particular point, but we got a good stride in a good G Guardian? Let's go over this. Alright, starting off with the stride, we got Poison, Evil, Mutant, Deity, wait, how the hell you say this? Marignantes? I'm just calling Marignantes, so we're just gonna call him that. So he has an act ability on the Vanguard Circle in the G zone once per turn, and it has an additional ability if his face up on the if this unit is on the Vanguard Circle, this cost may be paid with turn a card from your G zone face up. If this card is face up, cost Counterblast 1 and put a rear guard into your soul. Choose one of your opponent's standing rear guards and retire it. If a card was retired, you draw a card and countercharge 1. If no cards are retired, you choose one of your opponent's vanguards and it gets minus 10k power to the end of the turn. Let me repeat that. If nothing was retired, your opponent's vanguard gets minus 10k to the end of the turn. And you can use this card twice. That's the sad thing about it. You can use it twice. You basically just put on Vanguard Circle. Basically just flip another copy up. You use the ability. You retire something, you get a counter charge 1, and you get a draw. And if you didn't retire nothing, you minus 10k power. And then you rinse and repeat. Let me rephrase that. You rinse and repeat on this card. It's dumb. You have options. You have ways to actually utilize going against your opponent. We got a good stride for once. Am I complaining? Not necessarily. Do I believe Empress Gridor actually needs to get hit? I don't think she really needs to get hit whatsoever. You think if she got hit, I would give a fuck? Not really. I would kind of, but not really. But you get what I'm saying. Alright, so essentially, you mean to tell me that if this card is on the Vanguard Circle, I get to not only flip up a copy, but get a free counter charge off of it. A free counter charge and a free draw off of it. And a possibility of minusing my opponent's Vanguard by 10k. And you can use both. Like, think about it. If your opponent only has one standing rear guard, guess what? Retire that rear guard, counter charge one, and then you get the draw card, and then at the same time you use it again, the face up one, of course, and then of course you actually have to pay the counter blast and put a card into the soul and whatnot though, but you get to minus your opponent 10k. And best of all, you can at least utilize not really striding and actually use some of the, you can actually use the freaking, you can actually use like the better grade 3s that Mega Colony has to offer. I mean, you can actually use Giraffa's skill, not really minus too much off of it. You can actually use Master Beetle's skill, not really minus off of it. Venom Stinger actually has some pretty decent play now. And oh, for the people who wants to play machining, you can actually use both her Spark Hercules and you can use Black Saturn. And not really minus that often. I mean, it's a win-win situation in a way. You don't really have to stride. You still have something that can utilize a stride ability. I mean, it's a win-win situation at this particular point. It's amazing. You can even plus off of using stuff like Optyrandus and using Overwhelm. Like, use Overwhelm skill, you draw as many cards, and then you're able to use this skill, draw another card, counter charge one. You set. And then Optyrandus isn't a minus anymore. You use Optyrandus skill, prevents your opponent from calling anything unless they're playing Messiah. And then at the same time, you at least, the card that you discarded at least gets, you at least get the card back. And I think that's actually pretty good. But there's even more. Wait, there's even more. So you know how you're using, oh crap, my phone dropped. You know how you're using like Armor Beetle and you have to force rest one of your cards, and then like you have to figure out how to like utilize your field because like now your field is like all cloggy and stuff like that and everything else. Like now you have a way to clear the field without force retiring one of your units. That is amazing. This card does all that and more. This card is a beast. Bruh, where was this card a couple of years ago? Like, seriously, we should have got this card in Premium Collection 2020 instead of that bullshit that we got that nobody even knows how to use. Like, let's be real on that. We should have gotten this instead of that. This is how you make Mega Colony a good stride. Without it being super busted and without it being overwhelming. No pun intended. I mean, bruh. Like, this is like the best thing. Bruh, I was not expecting the stride to be this good. Like, granted, I already had my thing. I was like, yo, they not really gonna give us a good stride. They not really gonna give us a good G Guardian. Oh, the G Guardian. Let's talk about that. Constraint Mutant Deity Kuweeble. Koweeble. Oh, that's actually a hilarious name. All right. So when it's placed on the Guardian Circle, Soul Blast 1, this unit gets 30k shield until the end of the battle. Your opponent chooses any number of their rear guards, rest them. This unit gets minus 10k shield until the end of the battle for each unit that was rested. Now, granted, think about this for Think about this for a second. You get 30k shield. You have the option to bait your opponent out. Your opponent has a bunch of rear guards. They want to get through that shield. Okay, rest some of your rear guards. Now, granted, there's clans like Aqua Force and something like that that can actually restand their rear guards, no problem. But you at least force them to, let's say, you force them to rest rear guards. But not only that, you know what the best thing about this card is? There's not really that many restrictions to go off of. Like, think about like all the other G Guardians we have. We have two G Guardians, Griceforth and Relish Lady. You know that they can't really activate their effect until the opponent's Vanguard attacks, which is dumb as hell. We have, like, of course, the one that the shitty one that everybody got in 2015. Obviously, that's understandable because that was literally the first G Guardians. We're not expecting them to really be that good. And then we got Mephisto, or whatever her name is. You know, we got her that is actually pretty decent, don't get me wrong. But, like, you only got the 10k shield if your opponent had 2 or less standing rear guards. But here's the thing, I like this G Guardian because you at least have the possibility of baiting your opponent out, which is actually something that's pretty good. This right here, that shitty Stride from Premium Collector 2020, this is how you bait your opponent out. This is a good bait card. I'm going to just be frank with you right there. This is how you bait your opponent out. You get something in return. You get something in return if they do not take the bait. You get something in return if they do take the bait. And you know what? This is a Protect clan where we get unlimited Protect markers, which basically means that even if they do make it so that the shield goes in the negatives, you still have that PG in hand. Yes, granted, you get to minus in 3 cards because you have to ditch one for the G Guard. You have to ditch the heal trigger for the G Guardian, and then you obviously got to ditch the 2 cards for like the Sentinel and whatnot. Though, but it's something is better than nothing. But then on top of that, you also got to remember that you can force your opponent's hand as well. You want to know why? Because you can use this when your opponent has no rested units. I mean, when they have no standing units, and get the 30k plus shield on top of your 15k. And at the same time, you could also use the V Series version a Brilliant Blister, so you can force rest one of your opponent's units and they can't restand by any effect whatsoever. It is a win-win situation. A win-win situation of that. That's why it's like, yo, this right here is how you bait out a card. This right here is how you G-guard. Bruh, both of these cards, we're definitely going to be having fun with it. We is all like, even if Order Mega Colony fails, we still have something to back it up with. Let's just be real on that. Now, me personally,